Hey, what's up, folks? Rich Fantastic with you. It is Monday, January 16th, 2017, doing the weekly NBA report today. I had the day off, so it was just easier for me. I usually do them on Sundays. Starting, of course, in the Eastern Conference, Cleveland still setting the pace. They're getting a little distance between themselves and the Toronto Raptors. 6-4 in their last 10 at 29-10 to the Toronto Raptors, who are 27-13, 2.5 games back. Of course, we are now right at the halfway point of the season. A little short. I don't think anyone's played 41, which would be the halfway point, but by the time we do the report next week, everyone should be at that point. Well, actually, Chicago's played 42, so they're above it. The Boston Celtics 25-15, 4.5 behind Cleveland, 2 behind Toronto. They had a tough loss to the Raptors. They gave away another lead. Isaiah Thomas, of course, still playing very well for the Boston Celtics, putting up points at a rapid pace. Averaging over 30 in his last 10, maybe averaging 30, definitely averaging 30 for the year of 2017. Not sure. Since December, he might be right there. He's just playing very well. 8-2 in their last 10. They beat Atlanta the other night. It was 23-17, 2 behind the Celtics, 4 behind the Raptors. They are also 8-2 in their last 10. Now you look at the Hawks and the Celtics at 3-4 as compared to the Cavaliers and Raptors at 1-2. The Cavaliers plus 5.9, Toronto plus 6.8. Very impressive there in their differential. Boston's plus 2.3, Atlanta's plus 0.3 of a point. The Celtics have given away some games. They could really be right there at the top spot. Now, what does that say? If they were at the top spot, Cleveland is coasting through the regular season. So, it's not that big of a thing where you could take much from it, but still I think the Celtics are a much better team, and I think they're right there. We'll do a Celtics report and get more into it, but certainly they can be right there. Toronto, I think they can overtake them, so we'll have to see moving forward. Washington continues to climb. They are 1 game above 500 in the 5th spot, but they're still minus 0.3 of a point in their differential. Of course, John Wall is playing out of his mind again this season. He's really flying under the radar. Just shy of 23 points, over 10.2 assists. You look at the exploits of the James Hardens, the Russell Westbrooks. If it wasn't for those guys putting up numbers the way they are, you'd be looking at John Wall and being enamored with his numbers. So let's see how well Washington can continue to play. They're 1 game above 500 at 20-19. Milwaukee 20-19. Indiana 20-19. The only one of those 3 teams above or in the plus of their differential are the Milwaukee Bucks. Of course, Giannis Antetokounmpo, I believe is how you pronounce that, is having a very good season as well. A guy who's putting up, like we said, serious numbers compared to guys like the Russell Westbrooks and the James Hardens. However, you don't know where he would be ranked. I don't know if rank's the best term, how much you would look at him, but 23.4 points, 5.7 assists for a guy who's a 6'9", point forward, I guess we'd say 6'9", 6'11". Certainly, I'd like to see Antetokounmpo improve on the defensive end as well. That's something that you're going to have to look at moving forward. But like we said, it's the same thing. You have James Harden, you have Russell Westbrook, guys who are just putting up ridiculous numbers, that guys who are putting up as well ridiculous numbers, just more conventional ridiculous compared to Harden and compared to Westbrook, who are out of their minds. Then you don't know what to say. Chicago rounds out the top 8 at 21-21. Charlotte is really plummeting. They've lost 4 straight. They're 20-20. They play the Celtics tonight. You look after the 4th spot, you have a 2.5 game differential between Atlanta and teams 5, 6, and 7. So really, you're starting to see a difference between the top 4 and then the bottom 4 and every other playoff team. Detroit 19-24. They've been disappointing. The Knicks 18-23. Charlotte is still in the plus 1.2 points in their differential. Everyone else in the Eastern Conference is in the negative. New York got to figure it out. You have the Derrick Rose situation. Not sure what to make of that. Orlando, I was expecting a little more from them, but it's 17-25. I would have them right around 35, maybe 40 wins. Still a chance to push a playoff spot. They've got to get rolling. Philadelphia surprisingly at 12-26. At least they're not the joke that they have been in the past. Miami really struggling. They already have 30 losses. Really surprised there. Even with the departure of Dwayne Wade, Eric Spoelstra's still too good of a coach. Goran Dragic is still too good of a player for them to be playing that poorly. And Brooklyn, that good start they had, is really starting to be much more of an aberration. They've lost 10 straight, almost at minus 10 points in the differential, 8-32. This is going to be a team that struggles to win 20. Moving into the Western Conference, Golden State 34-6. Can they get to 70 wins again? That's something to keep an eye on. They're plus 12.1 their differential. That's what you need to know about this team. Not really even coasting necessarily, as you could assume a team with that much talent that has accomplished that much. So keep an eye on them. But the plus 12.1, that's obviously the highest differential in the NBA this season. And it shows when they're sharp and focused, they're really tough to beat. San Antonio 31-9. Moving on to the Houston Rockets. They're still 8-2 in their last 10. 31-9 thus far this season. Another team that, when I look at the Western Conference, I really think the only team personnel-wise that could give the Golden State Warriors any trouble are the Los Angeles Clippers, and I don't really think that the Clippers could do much. Houston, one of those teams with James Harden playing at an unbelievable level, which he is, 28.4, 11.7. I wonder if he's good enough to carry a team, but still, at the end of the day, I would look at the Clippers, who are 28-14, winners of 6 straight, as the only team with enough firepower to really give the Golden State Warriors any fits, but I don't think the Clippers have the mental makeup. So, between Houston, I don't think San Antonio can do it. I just don't like their team as far as having the firepower, even with Kawhi Leonard. They play much more we're going to do everything, the collection of parts as a whole, and I don't think that's good enough to beat Golden State. Utah continues to impress, 26-16. Oklahoma City 25-17. They would be fourth in the Eastern Conference. They're sixth in the Western Conference, so you can't really fault Russell Westbrook or take him out of MVP consideration if they finish sixth. 30.9 points, 10.5 assists. As far as his rebounds, 10.7. He's leading the team in rebounds, so he's still averaging a triple-double over 30 points. He's playing out of his mind, folks. Memphis 25-18, another team that has a lot of talent, has a lot of veteran play, can make noise in the playoffs, can give teams fits in the playoffs, but as far as the championship, just don't see it. Portland continues to disappoint, but they are the 8th spot at 18-24, but 5-5 in the last 10. They're really not showing any ability to get out of their, not rut, I would say, but to get themselves moving in a much more positive direction. Sacramento 16-24. Let's see how much noise they can make. Denver 15-23. New Orleans starting to come along. 1.5 games out of that final spot. I'd like to see with an Anthony Davis if they can make noise. Minnesota 14-27. They're 4-6 in the last 10, but with how poorly everyone else is playing, they're somehow getting up. They are 3.5 out of that playoff spot. Let's see. Through 41 games, so they have half the season left. They would have to win like 30 to probably make the playoffs, go 30-11 down the stretch. I don't see it. Could they get to at least 500 going 27-14? Let's keep an eye. I'd like to see this team at least improve. Lakers 15-30, Mavericks 13-27, Phoenix 13-27. So the West, from top to bottom, is much better than the East. Okay, power rankings, of course, the Golden State Warriors number 1, Cleveland Cavaliers number 2, going to keep the Houston Rockets number 3, San Antonio number 4, and the Clippers with their 6 straight wins number 5. All right, so in a little bit we will do the Celtics report. Be sure to stay tuned for that as well, and remember, we appreciate all subscriptions. Thank you so much.